Welcome to Day's Update for December 14th, 2025. I'm your host, Chris Alogi.
I'm Brandon Perkins.
And I'm Dan Vittorio.
And yeah, we've got a big week of news, as you might have seen. The Game Awards happened,
Yep.
as well as a number of other showcases happened just before. With some more indie stuff and whatnot to show off that has a lot of cool stuff. If you were looking for more indie stuff, that's where that stuff was at. But that is not all of the news this week. We have some subscription news.
Yep.
We have games, let's say one doing poorly, one getting delayed because it looks so bad. And then we have some unionization talk and some other weird bits of news. So we'll get all of that here. But before we do that, we'll talk about what we've been playing, and I'll kick it off. I've been playing some Skate Story. I think I'm in the second chapter where I'm at, and I'm enjoying that a lot so far. It's a very weird game in a sense of a lot of what you're doing initially is a lot of weird story where you're playing this demon who just wants to eat the moon, and you sort of get the opportunity to do so, and in the process you're skateboarding while doing that. It's the sections you're doing that is a lot of just pretty straightforward, skateboarding down this section, the straight ahead section, looking for the little goal area that takes you to the next section, kind of thing. You can do tricks if you want. You can kind of just avoid obstacles. They'll have this fire that looks like red grass that will destroy you, as well as just messing up your tricks. Can also do that as well. And the further you go along, they add more obstacles. There's sort of like a speed trap kind of thing that you need to go fast enough on your skateboard to get past the barriers they put up, as well as more elaborate environments and such. But yeah, once you get to the first moon and you kind of crack it in half, a bunch of let's say demon cops show up and are like, "Oh, this is a sin. Skateboarding is a sin," and all this, and you get kind of arrested and taken to them figuring out what they're going to do with you, and this philosopher takes you. He's like, "Oh, I'll take him here in my philosophy zone, whatever he's got there," and that kind of is your first open area to kind of skate around. Fairly simple kind of place where you have your little entrance area, and they tell you, if you want to get out of here, you need to get to like think pieces, I think they call them, from these other philosopher guys, which are basically just like classic Greek that marble statue looking heads that are hanging around. They have one has like a thing that it needs you to do, and another one's just like, "Oh, you just need to give me enough of this currency, and I'll give it to you." And so you can kind of get currency from doing tricks, as well as collecting things and doing some bonus little things. And that's sort of where it introduces the trick system, where your basic ollie is on circle on a dual sense, and the first tricks that it gives you are basically just holding any of the 4 shoulder buttons and circle. And in that process, it has like a little oval or something that you see like a thing moving around on, and if you try to get that in the green area of the oval, I think you get extra points out of it, something like that. And so there's like an element of landing tricks perfectly kind of stuff. Then it starts, carrying on some more things over time. With that, you have an ability to kind of almost kind of drift with the skateboard kind of thing. And there's the notion of grinding. It's not really done like Tony Hawk style. If you just land on the edge of like a bench or a platform or something, you start grinding for like a skate. Um, but yeah, then they have you do your first boss fight, which is against the philosopher guy, and you're basically is where it's teaching you how to do combos where you're just landing tricks in succession.
Mhm.
Um, and from there you do like a stomping the ground move with the skateboard, right before you land, and that does damage to them. And so you're kind of linking up these combos and trying to finish them off in a way that does damage to the boss. And it's a pretty interesting way of doing a boss fight in a skateboarding game.
Mhm.
Um, and then from there, once you beat that boss, you kind of find out that there's I think it's 9 levels to hell, and
Mhm.
the your skateboard, the first skin you have on it is like a map of the 9 layers of hell, and essentially
Mhm.
each layer has its own moon. So you're kind of going through each one, eating that layer's moon, and then moving on to the next one, and kind of working your way through that. And I assume they have like different vibes and all that. The second one definitely has a bit of a different vibe. The open area there
Mhm.
is like a kind of like a city block of sorts, with kind of people or there's skeletons that are hanging around.
Mhm.
You can talk to them, and then their skeletons explode usually after you talk to them.
Mm.
But you got things to do and all that, and they teach you how to do manuals and all that, which gets you um, more of the currency because you have like this specific type of grass that's on the ground, and depending on what if you do a manual into it or the switch, from the normal way you skateboard and the I forgot the opposite way that you do it, goofy, I think.
Mhm.
Um, if you do that switch on some grass, you can then get more of the currency out of that. And you can go to a
Mhm.
shop in each of these areas to buy a bunch of cosmetics. I don't think any of it affects how the board works.
Mhm.
Though they do let you adjust the tightness of the trucks. So if you want it to be a little more looser or tighter, you can definitely do that. Though I didn't really mess with it. Mostly I've hung out enough in those areas to get the currency to unlock all the cosmetics and moved on. And so where I'm at, I was basically getting on a subway station, to travel to the next area. Though I stopped at a midway point and was like, all right, this
Mhm.
is this is enough for now, and I haven't been back to it, but really liking the style to it. Yeah, your demon body is sort of more made of more normal materials, and then once you kind of go on this quest, you sign a contract with the devil that lets you eat these moons and potentially get out of hell. And in return, you get a body made of glass, so that every time you crash on a trick or run into grass or whatever, your body kind of shatters, and you do see like the glass left over in the area you were at, so you kind of get a little visual of where you messed up. So there's some cool stuff going on in this game, so I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to put some more time into that. And yeah, that's on PS5 and PC, and it's on PS Plus Extra
Mhm.
uh, at the moment, so that's worth checking out there. I've been playing more Metroid Prime 4. Right now
Mhm.
I have Viola and have been driving through a couple of the other parts of Vault Forge, and you kind of really see how linear these towers are. Because a lot of it is just this kind of zigzagging of down elevators from one end of this area to the other, then down the elevator there, and basically back across. Kind of just doing it until you get to the end point where you're setting up the uh, whatever antenna for collecting more electricity from the lightning strikes to power up whatever's going on there. Initially, you're doing a factory that's building more bikes, but the secondary is sort of where you start fighting enemies regularly and meeting some of the variety that's there. There's not a ton early on. It's just robots, and then you fight your first boss in this area. that is a seems like it's going to be Silex, but it's swapped out as a robot. Um, that is sort of, I guess, imitating Silex or something. Because the boss
Mm-hmm.
fight wasn't that tough, but it had a lot of interesting variety in the way that wants you to switch to, your different, your morph ball to use that to stop one of the attacks it does. Um, and kind of uh, changing things up a bit, which is nice for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's a much better boss fight than the first one in the area. So uh, yeah, then you get to the next area and it's basically showing you how to do things on your bike,
Mm-hmm.
do attacks and boost and all that kind of stuff. That I'll probably use it more in the open world, but yeah, in this area you're kind of just going on this linear path. Um, you're able to collect crashing like these boxes to collect like energy uh, stuff for filling up your health meter and all that. So you kind of get a little boost out of that. But yeah, it's not been that tough so far. Um, Especially once you go through like the training stuff there, it gives you another health health uh bar for. So I have I think three of those now. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty good on not ever getting close to dying. So that's been experience on that so far. And then the last one I've been playing is Clair Obscure Expedition 33.
Mm-hmm.
Finished up the tournament in the Gestral Village
Yep.
and managed to pick the right character for the final one without seeing the guide. Saying that
Mm-hmm.
I should have picked Mael because she gets a weapon that's been pretty rare for her so far, and it's a pretty good one that you can build up for a while. Versus the other two, kind of just getting another weapon that's about as good as what they already have. And so from there, I've gotten the ability to go over to SKA's area, and I've jumped around there a little bit and done a few things. Um, not gotten to anything really substantial yet there, but still another nice area to explore. So
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to playing some more of that. But yeah, that's been pretty much what I've been doing. So how about you, Brandon?
Well, I finished Neon White the night before last, and yeah, like I love that game. Absolutely, anybody who has not played it absolutely should play it. But man, the last couple, well, actually, not the last couple of levels, but actually like the level before it is the single hardest level in that entire game. And remember, this is a game where you're essentially speed running every level you can get through to try and earn rewards and stuff like that. But the last one, or really the last one before you go on to what is more or less the boss area, is literally called Marathon, and it essentially is a series of it's a level that, and it's arguably like the longest level in the game, which in like the fastest you can get through it typically is like about maybe 2 minutes, which doesn't sound very long, but keep in mind that these levels are designed so that you're supposed to be able to zip through them very quickly. And it also doesn't help that it makes you use every single soul card you've come in contact with in that game up to that point, and it's all entirely based on very precise movements that if you don't get exactly right, you won't have the right momentum and you'll just fall to your death. One of the right around this part of the game, the game introduces I think like the last uh, soul card that you'll come into contact with, which is called Book of Life. And basically, what it does is it lets you target either enemies or destructible objects that are in the distance and teleport to them like immediately and destroy them in the process. Uh, so, like I said, like the regular demons that you're fighting, exploding red barrels, that kind of thing. But what happens is because of that, you're also having to use like all the other soul cards, the pistol that gives you the double jump, the rifle that gives you the dash, the shotgun that gives you the fireball maneuver, the two machine guns that let you have the bomb and the stomp ability, respectively, and the RPG that has like a grappling hook feature. And you're going through all of these with these very precise maneuvers that you have to do. Otherwise, you'll fall to your death and you'll have to do the whole thing over again. And it is especially difficult when you're trying to get the final like gift in the game so that you can get like the good ending. Because it's at the top of this very tall tower that requires you to follow this trail of balloon demons that you use to like launch yourself up every time you make contact with one, but you're also having to cycle between all these soul cards in order to do it, and it's not always very obvious exactly where it is you need to go, because some of these demons are very teeny tiny, and you kind of have to squint to find them. But I did finally uh, beat it the other night, and yeah, it's an amazing game. If anyone who has not played it yet, you absolutely need to play it. It's fantastic, and it makes you feel more powerful and feel like a better gamer than you actually are. But other than that, I've also been playing Path of Exile again. I haven't been back to that game in a while, and I forgot how kind of difficult it is starting out because you're kind of underpowered in the beginning, and like especially through that first sort of sequence of fights, you forget that you're not quite as strong as you probably need to be at that point. But yeah, I've been playing that too. I'm probably gonna start playing Path of Exile 2 tonight. I got it loading on my PS5 as we speak. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. So Dan Reb, what about you?
Yeah, the main game that I've been playing is the Metroid Prime 4. I do eventually want to get back into Pokemon Za and Ghost of Yote as I finish up my Game of the Year list. But yeah, I'm actually really, really liking Metroid Prime 4. When I talked about it last week, I compared it a lot to Zelda just because of the structure of the way the power-ups and the new items can be found. I'm not too far in though. I have just unlocked the fire beam, and it was an interesting way trying to get to it because when the game opens up and after you get the Viola, the motorcycle, you pretty much have your choice of where to go, but you're still sort of ham-fisted into going to the volcano. I remember going to the ice place, and I really couldn't do anything there, so I was forced to go into the volcano, and then I found this little bit that I had to bring back to Miles all the way back in the first part in the game, and yeah, like not having fast travel is pretty rough, but also this is Metroid. This is how it's usually done from them. Granted, like I don't know if they plan on doing this better towards the end of the game, but one way they try to get you through it is when you're on Viola in that open world desert. You can run over these rocks to go faster, so that's a pretty cool thing. So I was able to get back to Miles a little quicker, and he gave me the fire beam, which I could use to have more success in the ice area on the upper left corner of the map. So yeah, that's where I've left things for now. I did find this um, shrine in the middle of the wasteland where I had to like solve some gun puzzles in order to unlock a different thing, which actually just makes my beam a whole lot more powerful. And the interesting thing was they called it a shrine. So it looks like, there are some Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom aspects in this game that are rather interesting. It just doesn't seem like there'll be all that many because the map, honestly, isn't really all that big. But yeah, looking forward to playing this some more. I didn't get to play as much as I would have liked because I went to the Game Awards. And yeah, I'll go ahead and talk about that experience once we get to that point of the podcast. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. We got some news, and we'll start with a sad bit of news. Jim Ward,
Hmm.
prolific voice actor, passed away. I think the voice we may know him best from is Captain Quark from the Ratchet and Clank series.
Hmm.
He voiced that character until I think the 2016 remake. He did not voice him in the last game because he had Parkinson's and was sort of unable to record at that point. Um, but he's been in a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, he was in Fairly Odd Parents, Hector LeMans and Grim Fandango,
Mm-hmm.
multiple Star Wars games. I was in Fear, Belial in Diablo 3, and yeah, a bunch of other games and shows and such. And yeah, unfortunate to see
Mm-hmm.
that he had been dealing with health issues. Yeah, a combination of Alzheimer's and COVID that paralyzed him for
Mm-hmm.
a while in 2021. But yeah, he had a number of issues that unfortunately led to his death here at the age of 66. So yeah, wishes family and friends the best. But yeah, just a big loss in the voice acting world.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Let's see here. We got some subscription news here. For PlayStation Plus, they announced their um. Oh wait, I got the wrong one here. We got the game catalog lineup here. Um, yeah, bunch of stuff here for that. I'll fix the link here for that.
Yeah,
There
this
you
is
go.
the current one.
All right, there you go. So yeah, for extra and premium, for PS5 and PS4, we have Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to check that one out, so that is the more pared down Assassin's Creed game, a bit more in line with the original uh, first few games in
Mm-hmm.
that series. It's pretty good for what it is. Let's see for PS5 and PS4, Wolong Fallen Dynasty.
Yep.
This is essentially like a Souls-like set in the Three Kingdoms era of
Yep.
China's history, um, which is going to be full of a lot of fantastical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you got a lot of good stuff here, so that one's
Mm.
worth checking out. Yeah, as I mentioned, Skate Story is already available. So you can check that one out. Let's see. For PS5 and PS4, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. This is
Mm-hmm.
the action RPG, not the fighting game. So if you want one of those, you can check that one out. Let's see. PS5, there's Planet Coaster 2. So
Mm-hmm.
the latest of those for building a theme park, water park, and all that kind of stuff. So there you go for that. Yeah, for PS5 and PS4, Cat Quest 3, which I recommend. It's sort of
Mm-hmm.
a 2.5D action RPG set in a big
Mm-hmm.
open world area. As you're playing a pirate who's related to the cats from the previous games. Sort of this learn that you got this destiny ahead of you to save the world and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one to check out. Lego Horizon Adventures, I guess, is also going to be available on the game catalog. So if you have Plus or Extra, you can get it there. But also you have it in Essential, so
Mm-hmm.
you would have it longer than the way it's available here. I don't know how that's on there, but let's see. Paw Patrol Grand Prix for the PS5 and PS4. Seems like a decent enough card game for kids.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Also, Paw Patrol World for PS5 and PS4. Sort of a 3D action adventure game, I guess. So there's that. And then for premium, they have one game again for PS5 and
Mm-hmm.
PS4. It's Soul Calibur 3.
Yep.
A very good one of those.
Oh yeah.
Especially fun because it kind of goes all in on the character creator stuff, and
Yep.
you have a whole campaign centered around that. So I remember making I made the Ninja Turtles, and a bunch of other characters to play through on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's sort of the last of the really good Soul Calibers that um before they just kind of started being more variable.
Mm-hmm.
With four, which had the Star Wars characters in it and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, some pretty good stuff here worth checking out for this month. So There you go. Anything you're interested in, Brandon?
Well, Soul Calibur 3 is definitely a big one. That one's pretty top tier. Cat's Quest also looks pretty good. You see, I'll definitely give Wo Long a shot. Um, because it's like, it's a Souls game during the Three Kingdoms period. I mean, what's not to like?
Yeah. How about you, Danner?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag for me to be honest. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is a pretty fun JRPG that is also really short. You can beat it in like maybe like 5 hours, and the rest of it becomes sort of like live servicey, more in the sense of like a Monster Hunter. I'm not really interested in the Cat Quest games. Assassin's Creed Mirage is a game that I have had for a while, but I've never opened. Wolong is not my thing. Skate Story is a game that I talked about last week. The reviews up on SmashPad, and I didn't like it all that much. Primarily because it just didn't feel. Well, first of all, I didn't really find it all that interesting. The storyline was a little bit too weird for my tastes, and while the boss fights were definitely fun, I didn't really find them to be all that valuable after I've beaten it. So like I don't know, yeah. I just feel like your time is better spent somewhere else. But if you have it on PlayStation Plus, good. I wouldn't pay for that game though. So yeah, it's a little on the downside for me.
Mm,
All right. So yeah, we got some more subscription news. On the Switch 2. If you have Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, you can check out right now in the GameCube app Wario World.
hmm
The GameCube game that I played a bit of this and I was like, oh, this is why people don't talk about this that much. Uh,
hmm
it's fine. It's a kind of a 3D platformer, but more, I say, of like a brawler or something
mm,
like that. You run into enemies pretty often. You can beat them up. You get coins out of that. But the 3D platforming is like okay for what it is, and
hmm
it's but the stages are not all that big. Um,
hmm
Seems like you kind of do a little bit of exploring. You find a couple side things, and then you work
hmm
your way to the boss, a boss fight, and then move on. I'm sure it
hmm
gets more complicated and all that. I was playing like one stage, and I was like, okay, this is fine for what it is. They got some voice lines from WarioWare, and I was like, all right, that's neat, but also I'd rather play WarioWare. But yeah,
hmm
this is a treasure game, and it's definitely like some of their less amazing efforts. But yeah, that's one you can check out. It's available now on the
hmm
GameCube app, and yeah, one of those. Um, yeah, I was using my GameCube controller on this, and I switched over to Metroid Prime 4. I was like, does this work with it? And it technically does, but they don't remap anything to make sense on a GameCube controller.
hmm
So if you know your GameCube controller, the uh, one of the shoulder buttons on a Pro controller to are the triggers on a GameCube controller,
hmm
and so the things you normally do on triggers in a GameCube are not what you do on a Pro controller. And also, you can't pause because there's no select button on a GameCube controller. They didn't put anything there as a substitute for that, so that's kind of just a weird thing. It's like this could technically work, but they don't.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I tried. The original Metroid games on the GameCube allowed you to aim by holding on the right shoulder and using the um, left control stick to just go ahead and change your shot. But at the same time, it made strafing a little bit more difficult. And since you can't use two button combinations as a way to change things up, you don't have the traditional controls. Like you can get by without the pause button, but yeah, that just makes it a little bit rough. So it's unfortunate that they weren't able to do that.
hmm
Yeah, uh, I'm sure I could remap things, um, but yeah, you can't look at any map or anything
hmm
extra without the pause button. So yeah, that's kind of the weird thing. But back to the NSO stuff, they also added, or they're adding more N64 games,
hmm
and then adding two games you definitely think of when you think of the Nintendo 64. There's Rayman 2, The Great Escape. I'm sure the best version of that game.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I believe that's intended for the Dreamcast and probably the PS2.
Yeah, it was.
Then N64 was like, yeah, we can do this, sure.
Mhm.
And then also Tonic Trouble, game I really don't remember at all, but I guess it's also
Mhm.
a 3D platformer of sorts. So that's another game you can play if you want.
Yeah, these were actually really solid N64 games, even Rayman 2. The problem with Rayman 2 was that it required a lot of memory card space. And the controller pack that came with, or the controller pack that you can buy for the N64, would have to give up everything you have in it in order for that to happen. And if you guys remember, those were not cheap. So
Mhm.
if you didn't have any of that, getting past a certain point in Rayman 2 wouldn't matter because you'd have to just leave it on if you don't have the memory card. So that was rough in that regard. But yeah, I am a little bit excited for this because I did like it a lot as a kid. I'm sure that's changed a lot now, but we'll see how that goes.
Mm.
Yeah. Both these are Ubisoft games, so that's kind of why they're both in there together
Mhm.
for that. So yeah, that'll be available on Wednesday, I believe. So that's one you
Mhm.
can, two games you can check out on the N64. Let's see, and that's it for subscription stuff. We'll talk about some industry news here. First up, longtime director of the Tekken series, Katsuhiro Harada, has announced
Mhm.
that he is leaving Bandai Namco at the end of the year.
Mm.
After being at the company for 31 years, he's worked on all of the main Tekken games.
Mhm.
But he wasn't director of it until 3, I believe.
Mm.
I believe he did a lot of other work on the first two games and sort of got that opportunity. And he posted a big long post on his Twitter account um, that he ends with a big what SoundCloud mix of his music for his Tekken career, I guess. So if you want to
Mhm.
hear the mixtape of his Tekken career, there you go.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, he says it's let's see, with the Tekken series reaching its 30th anniversary, an important milestone for a project I've devoted much of my life to. I felt this was the most fitting moment to bring one chapter to a close.
Mhm.
My roots lie in the days when I supported small local tournaments in Japanese arcades, and in small halls and community centers overseas. I remember carrying arcade cabinets by myself, encouraging people to please try Tekken and directly facing the players right in front of me.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then he also talks about how, um, yeah, a lot of his friends and mentors have been passing away lately, so he made it, this kind of decision that he wanted to uh, step away from this job, but I assume he'll still be doing something. Yeah, in recent years, I experienced the loss of several close friends in my personal life. In my professional life, I witnessed the retirement or passing of many senior colleagues whom I
Mm.
deeply respect. Those accumulated events made me reflect on the quote unquote time I have left as a creator. During that period, I sought advice from Ken Kutaragi, whom I respect as though he were another father, and received invaluable encouragement and guidance. His words quietly supported me in making this decision. So, yeah, do definitely wish him the best. He's had a hell of a legacy here with the Tekken series, getting it to where it's
Mhm.
been. Um, but I do think Tekken series probably does need some new eyes at the helm of it. Um,
Yeah.
not that the games have been bad at all, but they're just kind of more Tekken, which is great. But also
Mhm.
maybe it needs a new set of eyes to get it to the next level,
Mm.
or it goes away, whatever.
Yeah.
And Soul Calibur people might be happy because then they can start working on another one of those.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add, Brandon.
No, it's just, he's been at that company for a really long time, and it's time to move on.
And now he's finally told the management to not ask him shit anymore.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the meme. Harada's been a legend both in and out of Namco for everything that he's done for Tekken as well as the fighting game community. So, yeah, he will sorely be missed. I don't know what he plans on doing next, but also at the same time, talking about this mixtape is very Harada. It is totally
Mhm.
irrelevant to everything that's happening, but that's just the way he rocks, and he's an awesome dude. Looking forward to what's next.
Yeah, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to some game news here. The Deus Ex remaster that was supposed to be out in 2 months
Yep.
is no longer going to be happening, or at least
Nope.
not anytime soon. Been indefinitely delayed because nobody liked it.
No.
Like the look of this thing because it's uh, not a bad idea. Just the thing we saw a trailer of did not seem like what people wanted. It just the visual improvements in some areas are fine, but then the main character just looks very weird,
Mm-hmm.
and not in a way that it's like, oh, this is just changed a little bit. It's just like this looks like if somebody asked an AI to generate what an HD version of the main character should look like, and like
Mm-hmm.
we built that model. And it's like nobody really wants this in any way. Probably needs a full remake versus this like making high res models version of it that's running on the same code. Um, but yeah, they put out a statement here saying thank you to the community for your feedback following the reveal of Deus Ex Remastered. We've listened to what you said, and in order to better meet fan expectations, deliver the best possible experience for players, Deus Ex Remastered will no longer launch on February 5th, 2026.
Mm.
And that's all.
Yep.
So yeah, just like, we're not putting this out anymore, and we're moving on.
Yeah. I mean, look at it. It looks like they used a bunch of AI and shit to try and redo all this. It just looks ugly as hell.
Yeah, they do say they're refunding all pre-orders and all that, so the people that did put down money will get
Mm-hmm.
their money back, and we'll see them go back to the drawing board. And it definitely did not seem like what people really wanted out of this game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there you go on that. One less thing in February. So
Yep.
though I think the Game Awards added probably at least 2 or 3 more to that month. So
Mm-hmm.
still be plenty of things to look at.
Yep.
Next up here, there was an Amazon game that came out pretty recently called King of
Yeah.
Meats. And if you did not know that, then there's a reason why it's done really poorly.
Yep.
So yeah, this is sort of one of those multiplayer party game things that
Mm-hmm.
comes out, and sometimes they do well. I guess Amazon had an ambitious goal of hitting 100,000 concurrent players on Steam, and it peaked at 320.
Mm-hmm.
Despite them spending a lot of money to market the game. And by marketing, that means that they paid, let's see, Mr. Beast a bunch of money to hold um, like a whole video competition thing with more than a dozen content creators that had a $250,000 prize as like a real life version of a King of Meats competition,
Mm-hmm.
which racked up 6.8 million views, but none of that translated into sales because Mr. Beast's audience is kids that don't have money,
Mm-hmm.
um, and versus spending that money to get a bunch of let's say uh, streamers and people that actually play games that have audiences that might be interested in this kind of thing to play it. And yeah, Mr. Beast, not really whole thing, but he does have a show or maybe multiple shows on Amazon Prime now. So they kept that money in house essentially to keep Mr. Beast around, I assume. And so yeah, they have not really done much here to get this game to succeed. Just spent a lot of money on Mr. Beast, and the game suffered.
Yeah, I mean the game isn't terrible. The few people that I know who played it at Summer Game Fest actually had nothing bad to say about it, aside from the fact that they didn't know if this game would actually succeed because, as Chris mentioned, party games, they either do or they don't.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to a game like this, you really have to have something that will automatically build the community. I'm not sure if this game was free to play, and because they didn't do that, I don't think that was the proper direction for it.
Mm.
And yeah, just talking about the marketing spend, um, I'll tell you this: like the main reason I even go to Amazon's booth during Summer Game Fest is because they have free food and they have the biggest booth at the thing. And yeah, with this. like, yeah, I was pretty much there to get a free bite, and the game was just extra, and the game was just okay. So yeah, it sucks to see. 300 obviously is not a lot, and yeah, it's just another fail for Amazon here. But they have a pretty big game. They have some pretty big titles coming out next year, and we'll see how that goes. We'll talk about those in a bit.
Yeah, this apparently is a $30 game.
Yeah, no.
It was maybe like 10 to $20. Probably got more people in it. But yeah, if you're spending all of your money on a Mr. Beast video, you should not be expecting much of a return on that.
Yeah.
Because that's not the audience that goes and support the things that they enjoy. It seems to be a pretty good trend as a number of game publishers have done this thing, and I don't think there's been any real talk of it helping them. But yeah, going to other things that suck. The GDC parent company, what's their name here? Where is it? Where the hell is the name of this company here? Something. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what their name is. They don't even mention it here for some reason. But yeah, they have a new event coming called the Kingdom of Gaming, set in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It'll be next December, 2026, and it is been organized in part by an investment fund established by Saudi Arabia's controversial ruler, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
Yep.
So yeah, this is let's see. It's going to be co-located with the Black Hats MEA 2026 conference, a global cybersecurity conference, and welcome over 20,000 guests, 300 exhibitors, and sponsors, and 500 participating studios and developers. Being launched by Tahaluf, a joint venture between a game developer parent company Informa. That's why I couldn't find it, because it's such a boring name, Informa. The Saudi Federation for Cybersecurity, Programming and Drones, and the Events Investment Fund. Seal of the event production company, owned by Saudi Arabia's Sovereign Public Investment Fund, is also set to join a venture. So yeah, they launched that event investment fund in 2023. Yeah, and the Public Investment Fund will be a partner in this. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on who visits this event and does the thing there, because that might be a company you don't want to support.
Yeah.
And all this. So yeah, that'll be a fun. Luckily, I'll think about that for about another year. So we'll see. But yeah, thing to keep an eye on that GDC is tangentially involved in.
Yep.
And let's see here, we got more news. If you remember the whole legal issue with the Switch port of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, where they were going to have the restored content DLC that was part of the marketing, and then eventually got delayed, and then eventually canceled because it was not going to work out, and then they got sued over it for false advertising and all that. It seems like there's some legal documents came out of this that explain sort of what exactly happened there. So yeah, Aspyr intended to bring the restored content DLC that came from an ambitious mod a group of volunteers put together for PC players. When the game released in June 2022, initially Disney signed off for working with the modding community, provided the latter could affirm it has all the necessary rights. And so when they released it without the content, Aspyr claimed the missing content would be coming soon, before finally admitting June 2023 that it would not be moving forward. And yes, it seems like this lawsuit, the legal documents here, show that there was correspondence between Aspyr, Lucasfilm, and the modders that became public, revealing that Disney was unwilling to credit gamer aliases rather than their real names. So they were willing to, Aspyr was willing to credit all of the modders involved in this, and they would typically go by aliases. as often these people do. But then Disney was like, we need actual names for all of these people.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like it was 22 people, and so at least one was not willing to give their full name. So Lucasfilm would not proceed with supporting it. So yeah, they say here, in our efforts to credit everyone who contributed to the mod, we have spooked Disney Legal, and now they have put a new blocker in place. So yeah, not a huge surprise that
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing would happen. And it seems like the oh, you need to credit everybody thing was probably a loophole to be like, oh, if they do it, then we'll just be like, then we're not interested. But it seems like a loophole that they're like, somebody's not going to do this and it won't happen, and then we don't have to look like the bad guys here,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. So yeah, fun times, fun times. So yeah, that's your interesting bit of news there. But then yeah, we got some good news here before we get to some showcases. id Software has announced that they have voted to form a union. Yeah, let's see, members of Local 6215 of the Communication Workers of America
Mm-hmm.
declared that 165 of the studio's 185 employees had signed union cards and affirmed their desire for a union via an online portal. Microsoft has recognized union under a neutrality agreement by the signed by the CWA with its software parent company ZeniMax. So yeah, that is good to see. Yeah, especially I think it was the massive layoffs most recently at Microsoft was also a key igniter of this of the desires to form this union. So
Mm-hmm.
that's good to see. Hopefully, wish them all the best. They've set 3 targets in their contract negotiations with Microsoft. The remote work policy that they want to continue, benefits like childcare and guardrails for the use of AI. But yeah, they want more protections around that stuff
Mm.
for that. So yeah, wish them all the best on that stuff. So there you go, some good news.
Yeah, very good news. And we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah. But yeah, with that, we'll move on to the showcases here. We're not going to go
Mm-hmm.
through everything on the Wholesome showcase here, or the Day of the Dev showcase. We'll go through some of the interesting stuff here that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. We got Lost and Found Company. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
a neat hidden object game of sorts is coming out February 11th on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
That's one you can check out. There's one here called Beetle Be Right Back that is essentially like a almost like an adventure game kind of thing, but done through typing everything you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they have in the trailer show like options of like uh, using a like crane of sorts where you're
Mm-hmm.
kind of typing left and right to move it to the left or to the right and to drop it, that kind of stuff, which is a pretty neat idea for this kind of
Mm-hmm.
game. So that's one that you can check out. They announced a new Moomin Troll game, Winter's Warmth. I think it's based on one of the books about the winter, uh, Moomin having the first adventure in the winter.
Mm.
So that one looks neat. Let's see here. Yeah, Spry Fox showed off their new game, announced a PC version of that, Spirit Crossing,
Mm-hmm.
which is a neat looking game. Um, yeah, this one, yeah, it's an MMO, cozy MMO of sorts,
Mm-hmm.
where you're working with people to build out this town, you know, build new floors and rooms and such to these things,
Mm-hmm.
almost like an Animal Crossing, but focused on multiplayer
Mm-hmm.
instead of like Animal Crossing now, which is focused on single player, and
Mm.
then a very janky online mode. So there's that. We got Cozy Caravan. It'll be out September or January 8th. There's a demo out now for that. It's also going to be
Mm.
on mobile and Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of a top-down adventure game of sorts. It'll be
Mm.
leaving early access and hitting 1.0. So
Mm-hmm.
that looks cool. We did get this one here called Find Your Words. This is the new game from Capybara Games, with the two leads being two guys who have kids that are nonverbal,
Mm-hmm.
um, and kind of building a game around the uh, journey of learning to communicate with kids that
Mm-hmm.
are nonverbal. It sort of takes place at a summer camp, where you're a child learning to communicate without speech, sort of using this like
Mm-hmm.
book that has little terms or symbols in it that you're using to communicate the things you want to do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's a really neat looking game, and yeah, it looks really neat. They did mention it's going to be free when they put it out sometime next year. But yeah, looks really cool. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely worth checking out for neat game going after a perspective that you don't necessarily expect in games. So
Mm-hmm.
that'll be fun. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
free with an optional supporter edition. So if you want to spend some money, they'll give you some bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's one to check out. Let's see. Yeah, there's a bunch here with demos that you can check out. Um, one that's pretty neat looking, Pandemonium Merge.
Mm-hmm.
If you know your uh, Suika games of late, that are like, oh, toss these fruits into this big box, and the like
Mm-hmm.
ones merge. This is
Yep.
that, but if you're using a frying pan, you're
Mm-hmm.
tossing food into the frying pan, and it merges into bigger food, and then eventually, it's overfilled, and you get your final score.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a neat twist on that I saw for that. Yeah, so there's that. Um, I don't know. There's the restory here looks really neat. It's sort of a yeah, an early 2000s Japanese electronics repair shop simulator.
Yeah.
And so they in the trailer you see very clearly like, oh, this is a PSP that's labeled a PMP by Noni. And so it shows like you're repairing this for somebody, taking out faulty parts and all that, and putting it back together for them.
Yep.
Uh, a little bit like the PC building simulator, but for old Japanese electronics. It was like a Nokia, clearly like an old Nokia phone,
Mm-hmm.
off-brand that. There's like a big Atari poster on one of these trailers, or the screenshots. Though I don't know if the company that's putting it out is associated with Atari or whatever, but
Mm.
it looks really neat. They have a playtest going on. They do have like an Atari VCS in one of these screenshots, so I assume Atari must be involved in this in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do mention here partnering with Atari. Restory will feature licensed consoles to repair, including the Atari 2600, Jaguar, and more. Things that Japanese people really cared about, the Jaguar.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looked really neat. It's like a nice little nostalgia thing.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, they ended on a game that is out now called Bits and Bops, which
Mm-hmm.
is basically like a rhythm minigame collection, like a Rhythm Heaven kind of
Mm.
thing. That looks really neat. So that's your look at that. You can check out any of the links here for more details on this stuff. There's that. Day of the Devs also had a bunch of stuff there that is worth taking a look at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's Oasis that is from the 17-bit studios, makers of a bunch of cool games, Galaxy, Skulls of the Shogun, and all that. Let's see here. Yeah, they showed a game called Stretchmancer that looks really neat. It's kind of a
Mm-hmm.
first-person puzzle game of sorts,
Yeah.
like a little bit of a Portal and whatnot. But the main thing is that you are a Stretchmancer, so you're able to stretch objects in the environment sort of horizontally, either further apart or closer together, or things in the horizontal space further apart or closer together. So you can kind of stretch
Mm-hmm.
platforms and such around to solve puzzles and all that kind of stuff. So
Mm.
that's got a really neat look to it. for that. Yeah, what else is here that looks really neat? Um, yeah, there was Unme, which is a neat
Mhm.
looking Japanese indie game being published by Shueisha Games. Yeah, sort of a psychological horror adventure game where you're
Mhm.
playing as a girl that has multiple souls within her body, each of which has their own phobias. And so you're going
Mhm.
through these environments where that can change. Either I think you change it or it happens automatically to one
Mhm.
of the other souls, and then things in the environment or people or whatever starts causing her to freak out. So there's
Mhm.
like the going to a hospital and getting freaked out by nurses, and then you
Mhm.
start getting swarmed by nurses and all that kind of stuff. So got a neat look to it.
Mhm.
What else here was interesting? There's Scrambled Knights Royale, which is a battle royale for 32 players, but the main
Mhm.
gameplay is like a top-down Zelda game.
Mhm.
So you're kind of getting dropped off on a boat that goes around this island. You kind of get onto the island and you start fighting enemies, but you don't have weapons initially, so you kind of have to destroy grass or whatever to find stuff to fight with and kind of try to work your way up. That's on Xbox and PC next year. Let's see. Oh yeah, Big Hops, which is a really good looking 3D platformer game. That's going
Mhm.
to be out January 12th. PS5, Switch, and PC. So that's
Mhm.
looking really nice. That has a demo if you want to check it out.
Mhm.
Let's see. Corgi Space is the new game from Adam Saltzman, creator
Mhm.
of what is it? I forget what his previous games were. But yeah, it's essentially like a collection of Pico 8 games, which is a
Mhm.
development platform um, that makes a lot of like low bit games.
Mhm.
So he's made a bunch of retro style games, but with a lot more modern sensibilities to them from what it looks like. So there's like a Metroidvania kind of game where you're playing as
Mhm.
a slime, and a handful of other games. I'm trying to see how many there are. There's maybe like 8 or 10 of them, something like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's one about an action game where you're stabbing Nazis. So just in
Yep.
case you're wondering, there's some fun stuff here. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's one that is available now for $5. So pretty cheap
Mhm.
collection there.
Yep.
Let's see. Uh, Speaking of like the kind of watermelon merging kind of game, there's one here
Mhm.
that they announced called Dogpile, which
Mhm.
is you're throwing dogs into a pit essentially, and
Mhm.
they merge together for the like ones, but it has more roguelike elements, kind of like deck builder stuff going on. So you
Yeah.
can get dogs that are more attracted to their like kind and
Mhm.
kind of lets you kind of pick things up a bit,
Mhm.
or get bad cards that lock them up so they can't merge with others of their own kind of
Mhm.
stuff. That's out now as well, so that's uh, $10 on sale for $7.
Mhm.
Um, Here we got Demon Tides here. That's got a date of February 19th for PC.
Mhm.
The Switch version will be later. It's a 3D platformer. These are the devs that are working on Bubsy 4.
Mhm.
So if you want to see what they um, are capable of outside of demo stuff, that'll be pretty soon. You can check that out.
Mhm.
Then there's Frog Squad, which is from a number of the devs that made um, oh, what is the game? I forget what it is. But yeah, they've worked on other stuff before, but this is kind of a friend co-op kind of game where you're working with
Mhm.
a few other people. You're playing as frogs. You eat food to grow bigger and kind of be able to carry more stuff, but you're also collecting food for the Swamp King,
Mhm.
who um, needs a certain amount of food for you to pass to the next day. Otherwise, he eats the frogs. Your
Yep.
journey's over. So it's that kind of game where you're getting an escalation of your goal to
Mhm.
do all that stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's one looks pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they announced the Excavator,
Mm-hmm.
which is an NES game that was being worked on back in the day, got shopped around to publishers and nobody picked it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I am it worked with Mega Cat Studios and Retrotainment Games to bring Chris Oberth's long lost NES game back
Mm-hmm.
from the dead as Excavator 2025. So you can pre-order this. It'll be shipping Q2 2026. It's $100 for physical NES game, new manual, packaging, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
100% of the profits go to charity, mostly, I believe, Video Game History Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you want to support them, this is a way you can get a cool game out of it and support a good foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's cool to see. It's developed at Incredible Technologies, the company behind Golden Tee Golf, Big Buck Hunter, and more. So this was a game they're like, oh, we want to make an NES game. Try that out.
Mm-hmm.
But never found a publisher that wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So this kind of was just a lost game. But they found the original source code. Uh, it, Chris Obert's family donated to the VGHF, so they
Mm-hmm.
decided they were going to bring it back and make it available for people. So yeah, that's cool.
Mm.
Then they ended on a game called People of Note, which is an RPG from Annapurna Interactive and developer Iridium Studios. It's
Mm-hmm.
sort of a turn-based RPG kind of game, but also occasionally the characters burst out into songs like a musical.
Mm.
So the trailer there shows one of the musical numbers, which seemed pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
especially playing it like a musical where they have random people in the background show up and start dancing with them for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
All that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, that looks neat. That's Day of the Devs, so some fun stuff there. But yeah, let's get to the main show, the Game Awards, because
Mm.
they had a lot of stuff to announce here.
Oh boy, did they.
Yeah, in the pre-show, they announced the Free Shepherd, which will be
Mm-hmm.
out for PS5 and PC in 2027. First 2027 of the show. There were a few of
Mm.
those. But that looks neat. You're, a shepherd dog that is
Mm-hmm.
shepherding sheep for whatever reason. They don't really explain much here, but looks potentially neat.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me a bit of Herdling that came out this year, but with a dog and sheep instead of weird looking, characters, creatures. So
Mm.
there you go. That's one to keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
This Decrepit was the next game. Essentially, a first-person Souls-like, um, a more of a uh, King's Field game kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like that one looks neat. So that'll be out on PC in 2026.
Yep.
That you can keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got the new game from the developer of Audio Surf called Audio Mech. It's coming to PC and it's works similarly, but maybe more in the vein of some other music games where it uses your music to generate um, like enemies and such for a rhythm action game.
Mm-hmm.
They specifically go through like examples of like, oh, the bass does this thing and vocals do this thing, and the different parts of the song will have different weapons attached to them. So you're trying to defeat bosses and that kind of stuff. So uh, that looks neat. Um,
Mm-hmm.
no date on that, but yeah, looks kind of neat. Then we got Pragmata. We got a trailer for that announced that it's going to be out April 24th.
Mm-hmm.
With a PC demo, it's out now. A console demo sometime in the new year.
Mm.
So you can check that out. Also, it's coming to the Switch too,
Yep.
alongside PS5, Xbox, and PC.
Yep.
So there's that for
Um,
your early next year game.
yeah.
Let's see, we got Solasta 2,
Mhm.
a game that anytime I see it, I'm like, oh, is this the new game from Spiders? Like,
Mhm.
no, this is Solasta 2. It always looks like a Dragon Age esque game,
Yeah.
but it's also a strategy game. So,
Mhm.
but that's out March 12th. Still
Mm.
just on PC.
Yep.
Be in early access, so you can check that one out. Then we got Tank Rat,
Mm.
the first of the Kepler interactive games that got announced during the showcase.
Mm.
It is a game where you're playing a tank, going
Yep.
around blowing stuff up.
Yeah.
Not really anything too complicated there. It's a bit more, um, yeah, some of the big enemies seem to be like robots with buildings on them,
Mhm.
that kind of thing, which looks neat. Especially, I assume they'll blow up pretty nice. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. This
it
looks
seems like
fun.
an enhanced version of a game that's been on EGS. It was called
Mhm.
Tank Head. So yeah, being changed to Tank Rat. So if you have
Mhm.
that on EGS, you'll get a free upgrade to it. So yeah, that looks neat. That's
Mhm.
yeah, out this spring. Then we got a first big surprise trailer here for a game called
Mhm.
Bradley the Badger.
Yep.
I still don't really know what this game is because the trailer seems like it's spoofing other games.
That's basically what it is. It's a game
Yeah,
that spoofs other games.
yeah, it's weird because it seems like, oh, it's going to be a 3D platformer, and it's like, I don't know. Um, yeah, it's from Day 4 Night, the studio founded by Red Dead Redemption lead designer and writer Christian Cantamessa,
Mhm.
and Mario and Rabbids series creative director David Soliani.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess it's going to be a gender or genre bending game. So
Yeah.
that looks that's sort of what the trailer seemed to suggest, but it's also like, I don't know what's gameplay here, what's just the
Mhm.
concept here. No date on it, no real platforms outside of Steam so far, but I
Mhm.
think they're looking to put it on consoles as well. So we'll see where that goes. But it also has a notable actor in it, Evan Peters, I think it is.
Mhm.
Uh, you've seen the more recent X Men games or movies. He
Mhm.
is Quicksilver in that. So yeah, um, there you go for that. And yeah, I think the last one of the pre-show is this game called Stupid Never Dies, made
Yep.
by a studio that's a bunch of former Capcom people,
Mhm.
led by former Capcom producer Hiroyuki Kobayashi.
Mhm.
Which might have been one of the weirdest trailers because it starts with essentially a
A music video.
yeah, that's I would say Machine Gun Kelly esque
Mhm.
in the way that uh, sounded, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, what's going on here? And the game is not a musical; it's just they wanted to have a music video, I guess, because the rest of it is like a what they call a 3D action RPG.
Mhm.
Yeah, PS5, PC, 2026. Yeah, you're a zombie who wants to bring a girl he likes back to life who's been frozen. Is the girl that's in the music video, but I guess she's
Mhm.
not, alive. And the studio is called GP Track 50, which is a bad name if you don't want people to think you're using Chat GPT for
Yeah.
this game. I would say maybe invest in another name.
Mhm.
But yeah, the game could be neat, but yeah, boy, that music video shaped a lot of what that seemed like it would be. It's maybe not the greatest first impression, but there you go.
Mm.
That's your pre-show stuff. This was where you started to notice um, that things are going Claire Obscure Expedition 33's way, especially as they
Yeah.
opened the show with a musical number from that game,
Mhm.
which I thought they were going to be doing musical numbers for each of the Game of the Year nominees, but it
Mm.
was just the one game. Then they did the
Mm.
medley at the end before announcing the the winner. So, but yeah, the main show started, and they start off with a banger announcing Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic from new studio Arcanaut Games, which
Mm-hmm.
is led by Casey Hudson,
Mm-hmm.
directing this, who directed Knights of the Old Republic and the Mass Effect series. So certainly a great choice for making a new one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the trailer it's pretty easy to spot it being Star Wars pretty early, especially once you have the
Mm-hmm.
characters moving, and they have that weird looking tall robot from Rogue One. I think the main character has with her. So
Mm.
really not much else to tell outside of that trailer. What's going on here? But yeah, looks really interesting. So we'll see when that eventually happens.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't have a date or anything on it, so probably just starting.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got a date on John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. It'll be
Mm-hmm.
March 12th, so you can play that pretty soon.
Yeah.
Then we found out what that statue was for.
Yep.
It is for Larian Studios' new game Divinity.
Yep.
One of the grossest trailers I've seen in a while.
And probably the one trailer that everybody from the show remembers.
Yeah, especially when you had a guy throwing up his alcohol and the pigs were eating it,
Yeah.
and then set the guy on fire. Who,
The whole Wicker Man thing, and then the lizard orgy. It's like, yeah.
yeah,
And people are like, okay, what the hell is this? I'm like, because let me sort of put you through my thought process as I was watching this. Because at first I thought, is this like a new Diablo? Because it kind of had like a Diablo vibe to it to start off of. But then you see like the dwarf and the lizard folk, and I thought, is this like and the elves and the orc? And I was like, is this Elder Scrolls? But then I remembered, no, because dwarves are extinct in the Elder Scrolls universe. Um, and then I saw the Wicker Man stuff and the Lizard Orgy. I'm like, nope, this is Larian. This is definitely going to be Divinity.
yeah. So that they're probably doing the right thing in terms of not being like, oh, this is Divinity Original Sin 3 or
Nope.
Divinity whatever. They're just like, we'll just do Divinity as like the new thing.
Yeah. As somebody who has, and for somebody as somebody like me who has played a bunch of the Divinity games, yeah, the universe has always been like this. It's just that Larian has fuck you money now, so they can actually like show it in glorious three-dimensional detail.
Yeah, they pretty much have trailer money, so they can pretty much make these fluffy trailers like these and get people excited. And
Yeah.
Larian is a studio worth being excited for, but at the same time, like this game and this trailer showed nothing. So,
No.
yeah, and like Brandon said, like the Divinity series was initially something supposed to be an alternative to Diablo before they
Yep.
started going the CRPG route and obviously killing it with Baldur's Gate, and they decided, all right, cool, we don't want to deal with D&D or IP anymore. We're gonna go back to our old shit, and here we
Mm,
are. We just don't know what it is, but is there reason to be excited? Sure, but until we see more, it's just what it is.
yeah. Divinity itself like is a game that's like changed the franchise has changed genre like four different times. Cuz
Yeah,
like the
there's
first
like an
Divinity game,
RTS.
yeah, the first Divinity game was a Diablo clone. The second one was a third-person action RPG. Then they had I think it was the Dragon Commander or something, which is an RTS. And then finally they landed on Original Sin, which was an old school CRPG. Um, you know,
And then
you know,
well, before that they made a Skyrim like,
yeah,
which is very weird and very janky as you expect from an
yeah.
Eastern European studio.
Yeah, and it's also remember that the fact that they have they got all that Baldur's Gate money with them now. Kind of a funny thing when you remember that we only have the Divinity Original Sin game, the first one, because Larian actually ran out of money like midway through development, and they had to fund the rest of it through a Kickstarter.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, it's just funny. But yeah,
yeah,
I'm excited because it's Larian, and they've consistently over the last their most recent releases have all been great, amazing. So,
Yeah, that'll be fun to see when it's
mm,
ready.
hmm which will probably be a while.
Yeah. And then we got to see last week you talked about how Sony's publishing a game from Bad Robot Games. Well, they announced
hmm
it this week, which was a game called For Loop, which is apparently a programming reference. Um,
hmm
it's a four-player co-op third-person shooter thing, kind of similar to Left 4 Dead, but it seems like they've expanded it a bit more because you're in bigger environments, kind of a big open world
hmm
area of sorts, doing missions, trying to take down these aliens that have come in various forms and such. So you're
hmm
basically taking on missions and building up your characters, and they showed very much like a big skill tree that you change up when you're doing different characters and trying out
hmm
different builds essentially to do that stuff. So yeah, it looks interesting. No date on it, but yeah, PS5 and PC whenever it's ready. Um,
hmm
but yeah, looks neat. So that'll be cool to check out at some point.
hmm
Then yeah, what do we have next here? Yeah, we got the new game from Bruce Straley's new studio,
hmm
former uh bigwig at Naughty Dog,
Yep.
um, who struck out on his own as a to make an indie studio called Wildflower Interactive. And so yeah, they announced Coven of the Chickenfoot. There's like a
hmm
puzzle platformer adventure game where you're playing as an old woman, a witch, I believe, who has chicken feet.
hmm
And you're working with this big weird creature that's helping
hmm
you, get around obstacles and solving puzzles and all that kind of stuff.
hmm
So that looks really nice. Has a nice art style and all that to it.
hmm
And one of the rare games you play as an old woman, so that's fun.
hmm
Then we got another Kepler interactive game. This time
Yep.
partnering with Frictional Games, makers of Soma and some other games. But they announced their new game, Ontos.
hmm
It's a sci-fi mystery horror game of sorts.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of going through this space station looking thing,
hmm
where a lot of weird shit's going on. So
hmm
that's looking neat. That'll be out next year at some point for PS5, Xbox, and PC.
hmm
Keep an eye on that one.
hmm
Let's see. Then we got finally to see Exodus again for the
hmm
first time in a while. Speaking of former Bioware developers, this one is the second 2027 game, labeled here as
hmm
early 2027 for PS5, Xbox, and PC. So we got to see some more of that. It's definitely looking sci-fi-ish
hmm
with a bunch of weird stuff going on there. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
and this is also part of the Wizards of the Coast
hmm
publishing, whatever they're doing. So
Yep.
it's got some weird Wizards of the Coast stuff going on.
hmm
So there you go for that one.
Yeah. And of course, I'm very, very excited,
Yeah.
as you can imagine.
Oh, I skipped a couple here. There's 2XKO,
Yeah.
which is the Riot Games fighting game
hmm
that is going to be free to play.
Yep.
You play as two characters, tag in and out.
hmm
I've heard okay things about this. It'll be on consoles in January,
hmm
so they haven't announced a specific date, despite it being so soon.
hmm
So that's one to check out. What else here? South of Midnight one. Games for Change, and then they announced they're bringing it to PS5 and Switch 2 this spring. So if you don't have an Xbox or a PC, you can play it on those consoles.
hmm
So there you go for that one. Yeah, then they uncorked the Resident Evil Requiem trailer that had been pretty much spoiled. That the
hmm
The other main character of the game, besides Grace Ashcroft, is Leon S. Kennedy, an
Mm-hmm.
older Leon S. Kennedy, and
Yep.
the neat thing they do, I guess, in the most Resident Evil 6 vibe of this game is that the gameplay of Leon and the gameplay
Mm-hmm.
of Grace are going to be fairly different. Grace, I believe, is going to control more like 7 and 8, whereas Leon will
Mm-hmm.
control more like 4. So he has different
Mm-hmm.
UI, more like the Resident Evil 4 remake for that. So they're going to have different gameplay again.
Mm-hmm.
And then yet another game that Leon will be in with other characters.
Yep.
So hopefully it goes better than 6.
Yeah.
But also he has a fancy Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT as his drive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a licensed car they got money in on there for. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if you get the deluxe edition, you get different Leon Kennedy outfits. You get an
Mm.
RE4 style outfit, Apocalypse, and Film Noir.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah, that's shaping up to be pretty good. That's February 28th, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
27th. Okay, so there's that. Then we got the new Jonathan Blow game. It seemed like this was hinted at was going to be happening here.
Mm-hmm.
It's being published by Arc Games.
Yep.
Recently freed from the Embracer group. And yeah, it's a massive narrative puzzle game
Mm-hmm.
where it seems like it's almost got a big, huge, Zelda style map. And it features 4 characters who have different puzzle mechanics, I think, to
Mm-hmm.
them. And it seems like the map kind of meshes the different areas that signify which character is doing what. They kind of get mashed together, so they kind of work together to solve these puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they say there's more than 1,000 handcrafted puzzles and hundreds of hours of gameplay,
Mm.
which is a very The Witness kind of thing.
Mm.
Here I was like, oh, there's puzzles everywhere. Eat shit. Um, there's lots of philosophical story stuff in there that I don't know this is really gonna hold up too well at this point.
Yeah.
Because like I could deal with it in The Witness because you're just kind of they're kind of like uh, audio logs that you find every once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
but you're mostly hearing, the main music and all that as you're solving puzzles.
Oh yeah.
But they have, looks like they got different designers working on puzzles for this game because they mentioned a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
people here from. Yeah, one guy worked on a Monsters Expedition. One worked on Promised,
Mm-hmm.
Heroes of Sokoban, Enigmash, Patrick's Parabosh, Miga
Yeah.
Kure, and other puzzle game developers. So
Mm.
that's neat. The story stuff, I don't know that I really need out of this
Mm.
game. And yeah, sort of since The Witness came out, Jonathan Blow's become more of an asshole,
Yeah.
especially thanks to
And more
social media.
insufferable. Yeah.
Because I think at one point he was like, "Oh, women can't be good programmers because they can't think like a programmer or whatever bullshit he spat out on Twitter."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Yeah, I don't know that I want to deal with this guy's bullshit anymore."
Mm-hmm.
So the game looks neat. Unfortunately, it's a Jonathan Blow game.
Yeah.
And yeah, the only nice thing is that
Yeah.
the Braid remaster he made
Mm-hmm.
bombed.
Yeah, during that part, I was like, "Oh no, it's Jonathan Blow," and the part that sucked was like, "Oh, I was like, oh, okay, great, the game looks good too." Typical.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, that'll be out next year. And
Mm.
yeah, then yeah, after the Wizards of the Coast game, then we got the first look at what's new for Dungeons and Dragons in video games.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game called Warlock Dungeons and Dragons for PS5,
Mm-hmm.
Xbox, and PC for 2027.
Yep.
Third person single player action adventure game. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, looks neat. Looks all right.
Yeah. It looks neat.
But it's also like I don't know. This is 2 years away, so who knows? Especially when the show zoomed in on like the eye tattoo the woman has. I was like, is that
Mm.
Neverwinter Nights' logo?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's related in some way, but yeah. Like that seems like some shit. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got back to some normal games like Screamer,
Yep.
which is an anime racing game coming out March
Mm-hmm.
26th. This is like a remake of an original game that came out in the 90s called Screamer,
Yep.
which was also a racing game, probably by a
Mm-hmm.
Japanese developer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it had any sort of anime aesthetics to it.
Mm.
Yeah, MS DOS game from the 90s, similar to
Yeah.
like a Ridge Racer.
Yep.
So yeah, now 2025, they're like, hey, we made that anime. That makes sense,
Yep.
which looks really nice
Mm-hmm.
from what they showed here. So hopefully that plays as well as it looks,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise that'll be a shame. This is made by I think Milestone, who makes a bunch of racing games, so should be at least decent.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one to keep an eye on. And then let's see, we got Control, the new Control game,
Mm-hmm.
Control Resonant, with maybe one of the worst parts of a trailer in the entire showcase, where they're just
Mm.
flashing black and whites and other colors a bunch
Yeah.
for like 10 seconds. Where I'm like, oh god, hopefully nobody that's sensitive to light is watching this part.
Yeah.
And I looked at the actual trailer outside of the showcase and I was like, oh, that's still in there. Well, that's
Mm-hmm.
great. There's like one of a few trailers that had like a little live part of it where there's a guy hanging from a wire, acting
Mm-hmm.
like his, one of the hiss being like having their back broken and all that, and then gets lowered
Mm-hmm.
into a cage kind of thing. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, kind of spoiling things that I assume happen later in Control. The brother becomes a
Yeah.
big part of it. Though here, I think this takes place sometime after, and
Mm-hmm.
Jesse has disappeared, and so Dylan has
Mm-hmm.
escaped into this version of New York that has had the old house and the hiss escape from the
Mm-hmm.
the the Federal Bureau of Control
Yep.
building, and now are all over the streets and causing everything to turn into those weird parts of the Doctor Strange movie,
Mm-hmm.
where all uh, the geometry of the city is warped around,
Yep.
and it seems more melee focused. As your guy has like the ability to turn this big stick into like a big hammer and swords and all that kind of stuff. It seems
Mm-hmm.
like. So yeah, it looks like it'll be a big action game. So that seems pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be out next year. That'll be fun to see.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there you go. There's your next Remedy game. Yeah. So look forward to that one. Let's see where we're going. Yeah, we got to see what's next from Nagoshi Studio, who was one of the leads of the Yakuza series for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And what he made is Yakuza, but featuring Don Lee,
Mm-hmm.
who's a really good actor. Uh, a man with some big ass arms to beat the shit out of people.
Oh yeah.
So he often plays that in movies. And so he is basically that in this, and yeah, he's a badass. And just to further complete that, this guy Nagoshi has no bones about naming this like what he just left. A game called Gang of Dragon,
Mm-hmm.
not to be confused with Like a Dragon.
Yep.
So yeah, fun to see.
Yeah, this was honestly my favorite announcement of the show. It sucks that it's from NetEase, but at the same time, like Nagoshi is someone well respected amongst the Like a Dragon community, and obviously here it shows that he gives no Fs. So yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking forward to this eventually when it comes out.
Yeah, and it looks like it's got more gun focus to it. So we got more shooting stuff going on for that. So there you go. That's let me see. Yeah, no date on that, so still be a while yet.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jeff got interrupted by Batman or Lego Batman,
Mm-hmm.
who said he's got a new game he wants to talk about, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, which has a date for May 29th. So that'll be a nice little summer game.
Mm-hmm.
PS5, Xbox, and PC later for the Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
You can check that one out. Then we got to see the new Tomb Raider stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
there's Tomb Raider Catalyst, the new game, which I guess uh, is sort of a continuation on the old Crystal Dynamics Tomb Raider games, not the reboot trilogy. So the Lara Croft there looks more like the old Lara Croft.
Yeah,
And
or
has
at least
more,
closer to her.
yeah, it has more platforming and tomb stuff and all that. So
Yeah, compared to the Survivor trilogy, which was basically just you know, sort of Uncharted with the serial numbers filed off.
yeah,
Not that that's a knock to those games, at least the first two. Those games are actually really good.
yeah,
Yeah, the main thing was that sure, it was like Uncharted, but they were also open world, which Uncharted
Yeah,
didn't do until their the fourth game, which was supposed to be DLC. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's true.
So that's a 2027 game. Then they announced Tomb
Hmm.
Raider Legacy of Atlantis, which is a remake of the original game. So the second
Yep.
remake of the original game.
Hmm.
Second one that Crystal Dynamics has done as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's out next year for PS5, Xbox, and PC. And yeah, they made the dinosaurs have feathers. So
Yep.
that's your progress.
Yeah, because we know now that a lot of dinosaur species had feathers
Yeah,
because they're the ancestors of a lot of modern bird species.
though they didn't make them size accurate. I think T Rexes were much more closer to the size of what velociraptors were in Jurassic Park, and
Mm.
velociraptors are more the size of chicken.
Yeah,
So, but
whatever.
that's not as good to shoot, I guess.
Hmm.
So yeah, that'll be that'll be out sometime this upcoming year as part of the
Hmm.
30th anniversary celebration of Tomb Raider. So
Hmm.
there you go for that. Then we got Forest 3, the third game in the Forest series that is
Hmm.
set in uh, some other planet. That's weird. Had a big intro of flying in a spaceship, and then it goes that's like heading towards Earth, and then something happens, and it's going far away, and then crash lands on this planet, and it's like, oh, this is the third Forest game. So the Forest and Sons of the Forest were the first two games,
Hmm.
and so now this next one is on an alien planet. So there you go. No real other information on that. So early
Hmm.
2027, PS5, Xbox, and PC. But that's or no, just PC. Sorry, looking at the wrong
Yeah.
thing. Invincible Versus. They announced a new character. PS5,
Yep.
Xbox, PC, April 30th. So that's more of that.
Actually, technically, didn't they announce two new characters?
I don't know who's already been announced on that game. I don't know
It's
the
true.
Invincible stuff. They focused on one character that argued with Robert Kirkman,
Hmm.
and then they showed gameplay, and I was like, I don't know. So yeah, um, yeah, Elemental, I think is the new one here.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's a $50 game. So yeah, it's on the cheaper side for this. So there you go. And we got a Switch 2 exclusive from
Yep.
Kepler Interactive,
Yep.
from a Tokyo studio called Shape Farm, called
Yep.
Orbitals. That
Yes.
is sort of a co-op adventure game with
Hmm.
a like 70s or 80s style anime style to it.
Mid 80s. Yeah.
Yeah, uh,
And it looks absolutely gorgeous.
yeah. So yeah, it looks really nice. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be a co-op focused game, so you'll need second
Yeah.
person to play it,
Hmm.
which is a shame to waste that art style on a game that requires two people. At least make another game in this style,
Hmm.
as we need more of that. So yeah, that looks really nice. See, that's next year. Then we got a thing for Animo. That's Xbox, PC, mobile. They're doing a closed beta test early next year.
Hmm.
I'm gonna check that out. And the weird word that there was not going to be a new Diablo 4 expansion was a lie. They announced Lord of Hatred, That's coming to all the consoles for April 28th. If you pre-order now, you can start using the Paladin right away.
Mm-hmm.
Who finally have a shield class. I was hoping it was Crusader, but that's a shame. But I'm not really interested in Diablo 4 anymore, so I don't really care either way.
Same.
Yeah, you made a live service Diablo. Like I don't want that.
Mm.
Especially when they make changes where you have to redo your skill tree all the time for the most optimal thing because you can have the bad build,
Mm-hmm.
which is ridiculous after Diablo 3 where anything you build is good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Marvel Rivals Season 6, they showed off the new character Deadpool. That'll be
Mm-hmm.
out January 16th. You can check that out. Yeah, then they had 007 First Light. Revealed
Mm-hmm.
that the villain is a character named Bama, played by Lenny Kravitz,
Mm.
who showed up to announce the award for, I think, best soundtrack, which
Mm-hmm.
of course went to Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Yep.
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz's first game, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's the Pirate King Bama, yeah, who I believe was sort of built his empire out of nothing in Africa. So
Mm-hmm.
kind of one of those kind of characters. But hey, a rare uh, major black character in a Bond thing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. We'll see more of that. Yeah, that's out March 27th. Then we got the Seven Deadly Sins Origin is out January 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Which free to play game exclusive to PS5 on the console front.
Mm-hmm.
As they get more gotcha games, because they need them all.
Yep.
Lords of the Fallen 2 got shown off some more stuff going on there. PS5, Xbox, PC. That's out next year at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got to see more of Saros, which has been delayed a bit from, I think, March 20th was the previous date. Now it's April 30th. So yeah, you'll
Mm.
get a little more time to wait, but not much more. But yeah, that still looks really cool. Then we got a new game here from Neon Giant.
Mm-hmm.
First person shooter, cyber noir, cyberpunk kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the studio that made the Ascent, and
Mm-hmm.
so they're making a first person game in a similar kind of location. The first person that is called No Law,
Yep.
which is a pretty good name for this kind of game. You're playing a dude that's sort of getting pushed around by the gangs and decides to fight back and kill them all. There you go. Unfortunately, published by Crafton, but yeah, there you go for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Phasmophobia is coming to the Switch 2 next year.
Mm-hmm.
They had Mila Jovovich to announce an award, and then they revealed right before that she's going to be the next elusive target for Hitman,
Mm-hmm.
which means Paul W.S. Anderson must be working at IO Interactive now,
Yep.
because she does not get involved in much else but his work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so you can kill her in February. So
Yep.
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Uh, Speaking of that, the Slim Shady events going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a paid cosmetic pack you can get. Um, you can replace the expired spaghetti can with a can of mom's spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where Hitman is now.
Yep.
You get mom's spaghetti sauce in the game. So
Mm-hmm.
then they had David Harbour come out to announce
Mm-hmm.
Total War Warhammer 40,000,
Yep.
as they're kicking the Total War franchise up a notch to
Mm-hmm.
40,000. This also become the
Mm-hmm.
consoles, PS5, Xbox, and PC. And it seems like the big thing is that not only are you managing real time battles on one planet, you're managing battles on other planets as well at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of managing some more bigger scale battles going on, which is neat. But yeah, these will be on the consoles as well when it comes out next
Oh
year.
yeah.
Or no, there's no date on this yet. No date.
Mm.
So yeah, that's cool. Um, They said Total War games will be on consoles going forward.
Mm-hmm.
There's that. And then we got Bandai Namco showing up with Ace Combat 8 Wings of Thief.
Yep.
With what seems like the most story that uh, an Ace Combat game has had.
Yeah.
Because they had full cutscenes where you're seeing humans. And I'm like,
Yep.
that seems unusual for the game that's about planes.
Yeah.
It's like Tom Clancy's, Ace Combat kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're making a big deal of all that. It'll be out next year, PS5, Xbox, and PC. Hopefully, they have better looking dogs in this. Though I know
Mm.
the dog from the previous game was one of the devs' dogs
Yeah.
who passed away.
And I'm also pretty sure it was just like a JPEG.
Yeah, amongst polygonal humans was a JPEG of a dog.
Mm-hmm.
At least it was better than the Final Fantasy 15 dog was it?
Yeah.
That was like really low poly in a way that was like, why'd you even bother? But yeah, there you go. We're back to Star Wars. Star Wars Galactic Racer. That's shown off. Made by Fuse
Mm-hmm.
Games. Studio led by former Criterion general manager Matt Webster.
Mm-hmm.
This is, a new racing game with some pod racing vehicles, among other things, going on here. That looks really neat. That's out next year. So yeah, gonna do big Star Wars projects right now, and this one looks really cool. Because
Mm.
the original pod racing game was very good. The PS2 sequel was also pretty good, but not as good. But racing be a bigger thing in Star Wars. So
Yep.
there you go. So that looks nice. Then we got Out of Words, another
Mm-hmm.
co-op only uh, platformer adventure game
Mm-hmm.
thing that's coming out on a PS5, Xbox, Switch 2, and PC. I think next year. Next year. So that'll be available at some point. It looks really nice. Still
Mm-hmm.
got a claymation art style to it that looks good. So there's that. Then we got a music video for Ark Knight's Enfield
Mm-hmm.
featuring One Republic. That I kept forgetting who the hell One Republic is.
Mm.
Um, what was the British boy band? Was it One Direction?
Yeah.
I was like, is this that British boy band? I was like, these don't look like boy band. It's like, no, this is something else. That is all right, but there's your One Republic song. For this, I think this is a free to play 3D RPG for
Mm.
PS5, PC, and mobile. It'll be out January 22nd, so another early next year game. Then we got to see some Phantom Blade Zero. That looked pretty good.
Yep.
Especially it looks like when you beat bosses, you get abilities out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's one part where he fights a drunken master who then pulls off some of that moves in a later boss fight. So
Mm-hmm.
then they gave it a date, September 9th for PS5 and PC.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty cool game. Just really good art style to it. So yeah, that's one to keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Capcom had recent news like, oh, we want to make some more like Devil May Cry and Mega Man and maybe Phoenix Wright stuff. And then they announced Mega Man Dual Override, a new Mega Man
Mm-hmm.
game. A cowardly name. They should have called it Mega
Mm-hmm.
Man 12.
Yeah.
Considering if you go back and watch the trailer, the tunnel that you're going through has on all the screens is like, oh, here's Mega Man 1, 1985, Mega Man
Mm-hmm.
2, 87, all the years for each of the games. They get to 11, and then, it announced Dual Override and not 12. Which I'm sure part of it is they don't want to scare people off of having to play 11 other games,
Mm-hmm.
but also, who cares? It's Mega Man. They showed some gameplay, which looks like Mega Man. It looks
Mm-hmm.
pretty nice, but not all that dissimilar to 11 that came out. I thought that was like 5 years ago, but it was 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, as part of this, Mega Man 11 is supposed to be on sale on PlayStation, Switch, Xbox, and Steam for
Mm-hmm.
under $5. I think it might be $4.49
Mm.
here in the US. That should be on sale about now. I don't know that every store has the discount yet, but you'll be able to get that one for cheap if you want. I guess they're also putting out an updates. Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
adding localizations for Brazilian Portuguese and Latin American Spanish
Mm-hmm.
for that, so that's cool. So yeah, new Mega Man coming in 2027. Then we got Neo 3, that's out February 6th. With the demo that'll be out the week before on January 29th. So PS5 and PC there. And the game they ended on is High Guard, a new game from Wildlight Entertainment, a studio set up of former um, Apex Legends and Titanfall devs.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, the way Jeff talked about it, it's like the next evolution of first-person shooters,
Mm-hmm.
which turned out to be a free-to-play PvP first-person shooter game,
Mm-hmm.
um, which looks good and all that. It looks like it's got some ideas there because
Yeah.
there's like a notion of riding horses, shooting people on that, some
Yeah.
destructible environment stuff.
This whole idea of like castle sieging and stuff like that, having to break through the barrier.
Yeah, there might be like a raid mode kind of thing going on
Mm-hmm.
here. Um, but yeah, it also still looked like a bit of a hero shooter kind of thing going
Yeah.
on here, which Apex Legends is that, so it's not really a huge surprise there.
Mm-hmm.
But people were hoping for Half-Life 3 or some other dumb shit people got in their brains was going to happen here,
Yeah.
so that's created some backlash here. But this is out January 26th in a few weeks here, so you'll be able to check it out pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
It's free to play, so you don't have to spend money on it.
Yep.
PS5, Xbox, and PC, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that looked nice. I'll check that out. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not a huge surprising game, but I also don't know that I've really ever paid attention to what the last game was. It's like, oh, this is gonna change everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what last year's was or the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's the end of the show. Claire Obscure literally won almost every single award it was up for. Like the only one it
Mm-hmm.
didn't was audio design, which went to Battlefield, which made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, every other game got lucky to win awards. Hades 2 won Best Action Game. I
Mm-hmm.
think Silksong won something. I forget what it was. Um, what else? Fighting game went to Fatal Fury, which I've heard nothing but bad things about. So I don't know what happened
Mm-hmm.
in that category. Player Obscure won Best RPG. It won Best Indie Game, Best Debut Indie.
Mm-hmm.
It won everything. At least the nice thing is that they had different people go up for each of those awards. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so at least you didn't see the same people there constantly. Um, but yeah, it kind of made the awards part of it a little more boring because you're just like, well,
Mm-hmm.
one game's sweeping pretty much everything. So why, you know, nobody else is getting really all the recognition that they deserve because it's not like Player Obscure is the only good game that came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
There are at least like 5 or 6 other games that will get plenty of Game of the Year awards from
Mm-hmm.
various places, and yeah, it's just kind of like, uh, okay, yeah, this wins. It feels like the only game that these people played
Yep.
because there's needs to be some more variety of people in voting for this stuff. Not to denigrate Player Obscure or anything, definitely worthy,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, like even in the Oscars, the people like to compare the Game Awards to the movie that wins Best Picture does not win every single award it's up for because there's always good performances and various things that other movies do incredibly well. Same thing
Mm-hmm.
happens in games, but unfortunately for this kind of thing, you gotta tend to get the uh, a more streamlined set of awards versus any real variety.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there you go. But yeah, anything here that stood out for you, Braden, at any of these showcases?
Oh, a few. Obviously with like the Wholesome Snack TGA edition, you got obviously Coffee Talk Tokyo is a big one. Also, let's see, Detopia looks nice. As for the Day of the Devs, um, hold on, I just accidentally went all the way down here. Hold on, here we go. Virtue in a sledgehammer looks pretty neat. Unme looks cool. Into the Fire looks kind of neat. And as for the TGAs themselves, Pragmata is still, it looks interesting. I want that game to be good. Bradley the Badger definitely got my attention simply because we haven't really had like a big spoof game like that in a long time that just like straight up makes fun of like every because like the whole thing was that like Bradley the Badger is that he's like an old school platforming character who suddenly shows up in like a modern gaming universe where suddenly the gaming world is like a lot more violent than he remembers. And like they've got like references to Bloodborne, Cyberpunk 2077, Last of Us, all of that, and it just looks a lot of fun. And also love the sort of area manipulation that it has. Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic, definitely a big one, simply because I loved Knights of the Old Republic. I still do, even though that game hasn't really aged all that well. Uh, and the fact that Casey Hudson is behind the wheel. Divinity, of course, is the big obvious one because, again, I loved Baldur's Gate 3. I loved the Divinity games. Um, I just loved all of that. Let's see. Exodus, like, I've been pulling for that game pretty much since it was announced, and I'm glad that we're finally getting, like, actual more content, more, like, gameplay. Um, Stuff like that. I knew it was probably going to be a bit of a wait, and we probably weren't going to get it until year after next. So, I was already in on that. Screamer looks interesting. Let's see. Orbitals. I wish I could play that, but unfortunately, like you said, it's a co-op game, so not happening right now. Unfortunately. Let's see. No Law looks kind of neat. I'll have to they'll still take some convincing for that one. Um, and yeah, that's about it. High Guard also looks pretty neat too, but I've been kind of burned out on hero shooters right now, so
How about you, Dana?
that one will take some convincing. What about you, Dan Rub?
Yeah, for me, I did not see Wholesome Snack, so I can't really talk about any of these things. Although, like Brandon, I am looking forward to Coffee Talk Tokyo. Like, I know that'll definitely be in my wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
I did see a bit of Day of the Devs TGA edition. I was in a plane when that was airing, so I didn't see the whole thing. But I have played Big Hops last year during GDC. I think that has the potential to be really good, maybe even like the best 3D platformer out of an indie. So that one's
Mm-hmm.
definitely worth looking forward to. Bistro also looks really cool, even though like it's not really anything in my wheelhouse, but I did enjoy what I saw there. And like that was a common theme with this one in particular. Another one that I really liked is Unme. I don't care about horror games, but and this one looks really really scary. But for some reason, this is a game I want to try. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if I will once we get there, but yeah, it was definitely like worth taking a look at. So this year I was in LA for the Game Awards, but I didn't actually go to the Game Awards primarily because it's a really expensive ticket. I think like the solid seats were around $400 this year. I spent like 250 last year, and I wasn't going to spend any more than that. And I didn't want to spend to sit in the far back either, so I just chose to watch it in my hotel with a whole bunch of other freelancers and some people on SmashPad as well. And yeah, it was a good time. But I will not say this was my favorite by any means, especially after how good last year's was. My favorite is 2017 because that year we had Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, Horizon Zero Dawn, all of that nominated for Game of the Year, and that made the orchestra even more fantastic. But I definitely had my FOMO moments. Like, I really wish I was in the crowd to see the Street Fighter movie trailer, just because I'm a huge fan of wrestling, and having Roman Reigns as well as Cody Rhodes there as Akuma and Guile respectively was honestly a really cool moment. And for the last part, like I've been talking with Eddie Garcia, he's the head of Nintendo of America. He's the head of the PR for Nintendo of America, and I was asking him, "Hey man, are you guys gonna get the voice actor to do the song for Donkey Kong Bonanza for the award?" And he wouldn't tell me. And once she was singing at the end, I was really really happy to see her there. So it didn't win, but that was definitely a cool moment that I wish I was there for.
Mm,
Anyway, as for the highlights I do have, yeah, the main reason why this wasn't really my favorite is because just a lot of this stuff isn't for me.
mhm,
One thing that I think was really lacking here was any sort of presence from Japanese developers, like a Nintendo, like Square Enix, like Sega. I felt like they all no-showed, and it would have been really cool to see something out of, I don't know, Persona 6, maybe even Persona 4. And then from Square Enix, I'm not gonna say I wish that we saw Kingdom Hearts 4 or the final iteration of the Final Fantasy 7 remake, but those are games, and even Final Fantasy 9, and like these are games that we know are going to come out eventually, but yeah, it just felt like a missed opportunity there. And then I'm not saying I expected anything out of Nintendo, but I was able to take pictures with Doug Bowser and his successor, Devin Pritchard. Before the show. So I thought maybe they'd show something cool, but that didn't happen either. But yeah, anyway, going back to some of my highlights, I'll just go ahead and talk about three or four here. I'm going to skip Pragmata because I previewed that game 4 times. Obviously, I'm looking forward to that one. I am really looking forward to, let's see here, Orbitals. Brandon said he can't play it, but I really enjoy the cooperative games. And Orbitals really looks up my alley, especially it being a Switch 2 exclusive, and the whole focus on classic anime style. It's unlike anything we've seen before, and looking forward to getting my hands on that one. I'm a mixed bag with Tomb Raider. I talked about it a week ago. My friend was a writer on the team, and unfortunately, she was laid off. And it sucked seeing that both Catalyst and Legacy of Atlantis, they both look really, really good. I am a huge Tomb Raider fan, especially from the modern trilogy. I do enjoy that open world, Uncharted aesthetic of it, and I don't know if Legacy of Atlantis will go there, but everything I saw, both from Catalyst and Legacy of Atlantis, despite the lack of gameplay, really looked like they'd be solid and, definitely games that I play. Um, let's see here. Saros looks cool, but like nothing really special there. Star Wars Galactic Racer was definitely an interesting decision. I think that was one of the loudest uh reveals at the show. It was really cool to see Sebulba at the end. I was a huge fan of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer as a kid. I rented that game like multiple times. And yeah, definitely looking forward to that one. Mega Man Dual Override was one of the few Japanese games that we saw, but I'm not really a fan of showing off 2027 stuff, especially for a side scroller. Like, um, I don't know which part of the team is working on this one. Typically, side scrollers don't take a whole lot of time to make. At the same time, I'm glad they're taking their time, but I felt like this announcement could have waited a little bit. And then the last thing I want to where is this? Da-da-da-da-da. The one big game that I thought was my game of the show, even though we honestly didn't see too much of it, was the one out of Wildflower Interactive. There it is, Coven of the Chickenfoot. We don't know when that game is coming, but we do know that it's on PC. But for those of you who are unfamiliar with Wildflower, this is Bruce Straley's studio. He used to
mhm,
work at Naughty Dog and was a big part of the Uncharted and Last of Us staffs. So this one really looks cool. I love the art style. I love the fact that we're using Grandma, and that one's awesome. And yeah, in addition to the Game Awards, I had two preview events. I can't talk about one of them just yet, but the second appointment that I did have was with S Game, and that was to play Phantom Blade Zero. We had a 2 hour appointment, and I actually played the game for 2.5 hours. They showed off a whole new level there, and For those of you unfamiliar, it is a game developed and published in China that pretty much is sort of a love letter to Ninja Gaiden. Granted, we
Mm-hmm.
did get a Ninja Gaiden game this year, but yeah, Phantom Blade Zero seems like it's hitting all the right notes. And the main thing with this demo was that they also showed that they'll be having difficulty settings. So if you are having too hard of a time, you can go ahead and bump it down to easy. I did play for over 2.5 hours, and it did take me that long to actually beat the demo. The demo had two bosses, and it was cool being able to switch weapons around. And the cool thing with this one is when you switch a weapon, it's actually part of your combo. And in doing so, it actually makes everything feel more stylistic. Of course, it adds a whole lot more graceful violence to it, but it was just a really, really good time, and I can't wait for September when that game comes out. It'll very likely be at my top 10 next year. But yeah, that's been about it. I just wish there was more Japanese stuff, but at the end of the day, it was a good time. It was a good time networking with a bunch of people that we don't get to see too often, and it's just another
Mm-hmm.
reason to look forward to next year.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking through this list for the Japanese stuff, and there's a decent amount because Capcom has 3 games here: Resident Evil, Pragmata, and Mega Man.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but we know about those already. They weren't new now. They weren't new reveals.
There is, what was I looking at here? Stupid Never Dies. It's former Capcom people. Orbitals is Japanese.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Orbitals.
I assume Seven Deadly Sins Origin is Japanese. Um, I don't know what Netmarble. That might be a Korean, so a little bit off there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Gang of Dragon. I believe that studio's Japanese for that. So yeah, like 6 or 7 at least. Ace Combat 8, also Japanese. Um, a decent amount there. Just no JRPGs for that. But there is some other Japanese devs in some of the other showcases, like Unmi is Japanese, um, as well as a few other games there. So yeah, but yeah, a lot of stuff here to look forward to. We've got more of an idea of early stuff we'll be able to play next year. For
Mm-hmm.
some more interesting stuff. January's filled with games. February's filled with games. March is filled with games. I feel like that's as stuffed as we've had for the first 3 months for quite a while. Although I'm sure the first like 2 weeks of January are a little light. I feel like every January game I'm seeing is like in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, we'll be swarmed with stuff to play here uh, soon enough in the next month or so. So yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, we're gonna end the show here. Thank you to Dan Urban, Brandon for joining.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We'll be back with a new slate of news next week for our final show of the year. Then we'll do our
Mm-hmm.
Game of the Year show and get that published on Thursday for all of you to check out. We should be able to do a regular show the week after that, probably just Game of the Year Fallout, because I assume there's not going to be too much in the way of game news, but maybe if there is even less than that, then maybe we'll just take the week off. We'll see how it goes. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, thank you all. If you enjoy the show, for let friends and family know they should check out the podcast, as we got emails about we are the 56th most popular gaming news podcast in the world. So that is a fun, dumb thing we got emails about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you have a good week ahead. We'll see you all next time. Have a good one.
See y'all.
Bye.